Hi, I'm Linda with It's a Crime, and today we're going to go through more of the affidavit that was released, and you can see my video that I did a couple days ago about the affidavit right here. But since then, I've obtained the full copy of the affidavit, so what I missed on the video the other day, I'm going to cover right now. Before I get started, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of my next upcoming videos. Please share this video as well, and give that video a like if you like the information that I give to you. Now, with that being said, and out of the way, let's get started. So first we're going to talk about Heidi's phone. There was an emergency ping on her phone that happened on December 13th at around 4:56 p.m. and it ran continuously for 48 hours until that Sunday afternoon. It said in the affidavit that the data was sent every 15 minutes for those 48 hours. And it was noted that there was no location while that was pinging, which means that that particular phone wasn't in use. And then another note it said in the affidavit was when Megan was at the hospital, she left at around an hour after the baby was born. And then of course went to Heidi and Shane's apartment like I explained in this video as well. The other thing I found out was, and I did talk about that Megan drove a Nissan, but the affidavit does confirm that she drove a 2015 Nissan Versa. Should get the specs on that actually. Now, if you did watch my other video, I talked about how Megan said that she was not in Austin the day of December 12th. However, a resident at Heidi's and Shane's apartment said that he had video surveillance on the exterior of his residence, and it says the tenant of the apartment with the exterior cameras provided voluntary consent for Austin police detective to view the recordings from the exterior cameras. One of the cameras captures the parking lot and has the capability of capturing vehicles as they pass the parking lot. Video captured on the exterior cameras show a light-colored four-door vehicle with the outline, window placement, and general appearance consistent with Magen Fieramusca's gray 2015 Nissan four-door, bearing Texas license plate, and then it's redacted, driving northbound towards the rear of the complex at approximately 9:05 on December 12, 2019. Shane Carey and Heidi Broussard's apartment is on the rear of the complex. The other new info I found was Megan had an Instagram account under Maygne Humphrey, but they said that there was no posts on it. And then in that previous video as well, I talked about December 14th and how I thought maybe perhaps that the 14 was actually a typo or something, because we know that Heidi was found on the 19th, but there was a search from Megan that said she was searching for the words, quote, bodies found in Austin, Texas, and that was on December 14th. So it's in the affidavit, it was December 14th. That makes me think more and more that most likely that Heidi was killed in Austin and then she transported the body, because, I mean, why would she be searching for bodies found in Austin, Texas if she's in Houston? And not to mention that Heidi was also found in a black duffel bag, so that even makes it more like, okay, she moved the body, or she could possibly have moved the body. Now, one thing to note, it was confirmed that she did go to Austin on December 12th. She came back on the 13th and she saw Christopher Green, which is her ex-boyfriend, and she said, don't be mad at me, don't be mad at me, because she actually said to him that she was going to the beach with her cousin, but in fact went to Austin. And when she returned, she said that, you know, don't be mad at me because I miraculously went into labor and I had this baby and now the baby's on the bed and here the baby is. Sorry about that, sorry I didn't tell you. That was the 13th. Now, the 14th is when she started doing a search for Heidi. So did she dump Heidi somewhere and then just bring the baby home? I mean, quite possible, because if she brought Heidi home, there's a chance that Christopher is going to see that. So she needs to obviously stick to her story and say, like, here's the baby. Like, oh, here's the baby. So that was the 14th that she searched for it. That just makes more and more like, you bugger, you went from, you drop her off in a duffel bag. Now here's the next question. How did you lift her from the duffel bag into the car? I mean, that's dead weight. And how are you going to, on a good day, even the person was alive, it'd be hard to pick up somebody. Now, Heidi was 150 pounds, I believe she was. She could have likely, because it had been 2 weeks, she could have been 130 because you do lose weight like crazy the first little bit that you give birth. But still, she's had to pick her up and put her in the car. All right, we move on before I get too upset. The next part that I did not mention in the last video was her Facebook was deactivated on December 17th, 2019 at 9:09 p.m. And this account was active from 2008 until it was terminated on December 17th. And it was under Maygne Humphrey. The next thing is, which I found really interesting, it's from the FBI Behavioral Unit. And I'll read this to you. It says, members of the FBI Behavioral Unit have been included on numerous investigative briefs and summaries related to the disappearance of Heidi Broussard and her newborn child. The totality of the interactions and events related to Magen Fieramusca, including traveling to another city late in pregnancy, the interaction with Shane Carey's father the first time he held his grandchild, which just, if you missed that last video, was basically Shane gave his dad the baby to hold, and Megan came and interjected and was like, I want to hold the baby. And then it also says the image of the vehicle consistent with the vehicle operated by Magen Fieramusca and the deletion of Magen Fieramusca's Facebook account were analyzed by FBI Behavioral Unit members who advised that the situations and scenarios described are indicative of a female perpetrator of child abduction. And I do encourage you to see that other video because I am going to be, hither and thither on this thing because I covered so much in the last video, but I wanted to get the things that I missed in here. Now, it also states that the historical location data for Magen Fieramusca's phone shows the device traveling from Houston to Austin on November 26, which is the day that Margot was born, which is consistent with statements that placed her at St. David's South Austin Hospital for the birth of Heidi Broussard's newborn child. Historical location data for the device associated with Megan's phone shows the device in the Austin area on November 26th, 27th, because she got the key to go to Shane and Heidi's apartment just after Margot was born, and so she stayed there until the 27th and then went back to Houston. Now, this is the interesting part because Megan told Ranger Phillips that she went into labor on Thursday, December 12th, 2019. And she stated that she went into a birthing center in the Woodlands, but she couldn't remember the name of the birthing center conveniently, in which she reported giving birth. Now, I'm just going to do a side note for those who maybe haven't had children or, not in the loop. When you're pregnant, you know everything about the place that you're going to give birth. It's almost like, especially if it's your first child, like you look up everything. In fact, hospitals, and I can't say this about birthing centers because I don't know, but hospitals will let you do a tour of the hospital. I know in Canada they do, so correct me if I'm wrong. If you're from the States and you had a baby, let me know. But you know the name, you know what it's like, you know your doctor, you're catching up on everything, and you can do a tour. So birthing center, okay, I don't know, but I do know if you are having your baby, and it's especially your first child, you're going to know the ins and outs of what it's called, where it's located, how long it takes to get there, etc. So keep that in mind. Okay. Then it says Megan told Ranger Phillips that she brought the baby home on Thursday, December 12th, same day she reportedly gave birth, and Ranger Phillips had confronted Magen Fieramusca about the discrepancy about her location on the date she reportedly delivered. Megan stated that she was not in Austin. Wow, you can be in 3 places at one time, or 2 places at one time. It's amazing, Megan. Now I'm going to talk about the members of the FBI Behavioral Analyst Unit, say that 3 times, provided an assessment of maternal desire, specifically that mothers have lost a pregnancy or have falsified pregnancy and have materialized the desire to have a child by taking possession of another child. So these are all kinds of alarm bells going on, and she's pretty much being profiled, and it's matching the profile. One thing that we have not heard so far is actually Margot had jaundice when she was born or when she was discharged from the hospital. And that's important because you gotta monitor when a baby has jaundice. Also states right in the affidavit that says a physician consulted by the FBI advised that untreated severe jaundice can cause a condition that is called, and I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce it, it's a type of brain damage. So I know when babies have jaundice that you have to monitor it because, you got to make sure baby's doing okay. I also mentioned in the video that Christopher Green was observed to be buying formula at a Target, and it says in here that Christopher Green was purchasing formula, which Shane Carey said was necessary to treat the newborn child's jaundice. Plus, if you have a woman who is not, didn't have a baby, you're not gonna have any milk, right? So then it says, due to the unknown status of the treatment of the newborn child's jaundice, which could lead to brain damage if untreated, members of the Texas Department of Public Safety approached Bojack Drive to check on the welfare on the newborn child. And then DPS troopers secured vehicles at the residence and secured the perimeter of the residence. DPS troopers entered 8118 Bojack Drive in an attempt to ensure the safety of the newborn child. DPS troopers located a young infant child whose physical appearance is consistent with that of Heidi Broussard's newborn child, which we know that they went and scooped up Margot. Then it also says on December 19th, they presented a search warrant to search the vehicle of the 2015 Nissan Versa 4-door, and they got it approved. I found the wording of one of these. It was talking about the finding Heidi in the car. It says, during the search of the 2015 Nissan Versa 4-door, Texas Ranger Gary Phillips located a human corpse in the trunk of the vehicle. The human corpse appeared to be a female with long hair. The human corpse was shoved into a black duffel bag. And then finally, this one says, your affiant has probable cause to believe that Magen Fieramusca did, on or about December 12, 2019, knowingly abduct Heidi Broussard. Magen Fieramusca abducted Heidi Broussard by restraining her and preventing her liberation by holding her in a place where she was not likely to be found, specifically inside a black duffel bag in the trunk of a parked vehicle. So that's the rest of the affidavit. I encourage you to go see that other video because I explain a lot more in chronological order. This was just zipping through the actual things that I have missed. Please comment below, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be able to live stream on my mobile phone, which would be great just to have some chit chats and discussion. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.